OU students are fighting the nation's strictest abortion laws. Ambulances react to an accident on campus, and hundreds of thousands with student loans may not receive relief. This is OU Nightly. Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Purpura.
And I'm Romelo Woodfork. Groups across the state are working to support reproductive rights after the strictest abortion ban in the nation became law. OU Nightly's Searles is live at Cleveland County Election Board to tell us how these groups are advocating for women and the importance of voting in the upcoming elections.
In 35 days, Oklahomans will be coming here to vote in this year's midterm elections. After Oklahoma passed one of the nation's strictest abortion bans, I spoke with groups across the state who are advocating for reproductive rights and stressing the importance of voting in this election season. After the Supreme Court overturned Roe v. Wade, ending the constitutional right to abortion, groups around the state of Oklahoma are looking for ways to advocate for reproductive rights.
So we focused a lot on trying to create a space where students could vent, in a sense, as well as a space where students felt like their healthcare decisions were being respected.
University of Oklahoma's Students for Reproductive Justice organization has been working daily to find the best ways to support women and people during difficult times.
Currently, we're working on educating students about how to get access to reproductive health care services, including abortion services.
Also in Oklahoma, an organization called Roe Fund is providing direct financial help to Oklahomans seeking abortion services. This organization works with abortion clinics to provide emotional and financial support, as well as connections to other health resources.
We still are offering some practical support, being gas money, hotel accommodations, sometimes airline flights.
With the upcoming midterm elections, advocates of reproductive rights say it is important that women vote in November.
If we don't send a message now, I don't know when we'll get another chance to do it.
I think being able to have legislators, even in a red state like Oklahoma, I think it's still good to have legislators who are supportive of reproductive health care decisions.
The Oklahoma State Election Board cannot confirm the amount of women registered to vote because they do not keep track of voters by gender. However, the midterm elections will take place Tuesday, November 8th. Reporting live, Searles, OU Nightly.
Police have an update after someone was hit by a car on campus Friday afternoon. OU Nightly's Addie Crawford is live from the corner of Lindsay and Asp with details about the crash. Addie?
Romelo, Pepper, firefighters, police, and an ambulance, they were all right here at this crosswalk behind me where someone was hit by a car. New information from OU PD tells us that the person was riding a bike and was transported to the hospital with non-life-threatening injuries. They say further investigation revealed the bicyclist rode into the crosswalk and struck the vehicle as it was turning, causing the bicyclist to fall to the ground. OU PD's Chase Brooks says the campus police department encourages bicyclists to follow all traffic laws and to walk bicycles across crosswalks in accordance with Norman's municipal code. So be sure when you're walking to and from class that you make sure that the walk sign is on and you look both ways before crossing the street. Reporting live, Addie Crawford, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Addie. And allergies have been giving me a run for my money.
Me too. You know, let's check in with nightly meteorologist Jenna about what's new.
Thanks, guys. My allergies have been horrible too, and it's just because we haven't seen much in the way of measurable rainfalls. It's been about 31 days since Norman has seen 1/4 of an inch of rain. So today we can blame those ragweeds and that sagebrush for all of that pollen blowing around. There's nothing to wash it out, as tomorrow will be a much similar picture. Coming up in weather, though, we'll be talking about today's fire risks, cold front timing, as we do have a few making its way through our work week, and even some rain chances will appear on the 7-day. Sending it back to you guys at the desk.
Thanks, Jenna. And communities across Florida are attempting the unimaginable job of cleaning up and rebuilding 5 days after Hurricane Ian hit the state. CNN's Ivan Rodriguez has the latest.
Days after Hurricane Ian ripped a deadly path through Florida, residents are left with the daunting task of picking up the pieces that are left behind.
I haven't seen anything like this, and I live in Southwest Cape, and my house got creamed, and it's a new house. You know, built to code and all that good stuff.
But where and how do they start? Some communities still don't even have the basics like power or running water. Not to mention many local stores and businesses where they could have purchased supplies or hired services have also been damaged or destroyed.
Yeah, there's no power and there's no water there, so that's the concern. I don't know what the government is able to do in Arcadia. I hope that they've got supplies there.
And then there are those who face additional cleanup challenges. Their homes cut off when bridges were washed away in the storm or roads were swamped. Search and rescue efforts are ongoing. The governor's office says more than 1,600 people have been rescued since last week, and it will take months, if not years, for these hard-hit communities to rebuild.
Right now, there's just nothing there, and it's going to take a very, very, very long time to get anything, even power, water.
Power and Light Company hope to have power restored to all homes and businesses by the end of Friday. So far, at least 76 people were killed in Florida and at least 4 others died in North Carolina.
The first day of the Supreme Court's new term began with a new justice on the bench and a decision to move forward with an infamous lawsuit. Sydney Wallace has that and more headlines from around the world in the News Center.
Thanks, Pepper. A lot is happening in Washington, D.C. as the Supreme Court begins a new term with new Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. The lawsuit is set to continue against Mike Lindell for spreading claims that the 2020 presidential election was rigged after a failed attempt to have this lawsuit dismissed. The MyPillow CEO could possibly pay over $1 billion in damages. The justices are also set to consider whether or not social media companies can be held accountable for aiding and abetting terrorism, leading to huge changes in the online world. The opening statements for this sedition trial of a far right-wing militia group, the Oath Keepers, began this morning. These are the first 5 Americans to be charged with seditious conspiracy in connection to the January 6th insurrection. This is the most serious charge any person has faced from the Capitol riots. And prosecutors say they have thousands of messages, phone locations, and hours of video evidence to use against the defendants in this trial. And more than 125 people are dead and another 300 are injured after rival soccer fans in Indonesia stormed the field at the end of a game. This has been labeled one of the deadliest stadium disasters in history by Indonesian National Police. An investigation is underway into the use of tear gas by police officers because the use of it is strictly against FIFA guidelines. And finally, Full House actor Bob Saget's final film is set to be released at the Austin Film Festival in late October. Back to you at the desk.
Thanks, Sydney. And in case you missed it, Norman residents were asked to conserve water today. Norman officials asked residents to limit their water usage today from 7 a.m. to 5 p.m. while a replacement part was installed. Contractors at the water treatment plant are replacing an existing carbon dioxide tank with a newer model. The carbon dioxide tank is used to balance pH in water during the treatment process. Officials asked residents to conserve water during the replacement to ensure proper water supply.
The plant has to be shut down in order to do the swap out. So without CO2, we can't produce water here at the plant. So that means that we're relying only on our well water and water we're buying from Oklahoma City.
City officials advised to only use water if necessary during the project, so you might want to pause your dishwasher for about another 30 minutes.
In the wake of Hurricane Ike's devastation, Floridians are facing a different kind of threat.
And changes to student loan forgiveness plan will exclude most people from relief.
Officials in Florida are warning residents to be careful when picking a repair service after the storm. Olivia Dague has more in Money Matters.
Pepper, as Floridians are sifting through damage after Hurricane Ian, officials are warning people of a different kind of threat: scams. In Fort Myers, police are warning residents of repair, water testing, and tree service scams. And in Orange County, officials are concerned about people falling for FEMA insurance scams. Now, FEMA's administrator is encouraging all who live near water, not just Floridians, to buy flood insurance. And if you thought you were going to qualify for those student loan forgiveness plans, you might want to check again. The Biden administration is rolling back who can qualify. 770,000 people whose federal student loans are guaranteed by the government but held by private lenders are no longer eligible. The scale back was announced the same day 6 Republican-led states sued President Joe Biden in an effort to block the plan. And if you're looking to buy a car, like me, a new one might be better than a used one. Rising interest rates and high prices are putting used cars out of reach for a growing number of car shoppers. This is bad news for CarMax, whose earnings plunged 50% in the past quarter. Used car prices are up 50% from August of 2019. And Kim Kardashian had to pay the SEC for failing to disclose she was paid $250K to advertise a cryptocurrency on Instagram. SEC regulations for crypto are more strict, so just putting #ad wasn't going to cut it. Pepper, Romelo.
Thanks, Olivia. A crowd will gather tonight at the Sooner Mall for an evening of fun.
And Jenna has more details on this drought we've been dealing with. Jenna?
That's right, we'll be mapping out some rain chances potentially coming up in the forecast. Stay with us, weather is next. Welcome back to OU Nightly, talking about fire danger today. As it's been pretty dry out there, we've had above average temperatures, and it's been even gustier out in western Oklahoma, so that's why you see higher fire conditions out there. Really anything that sparks could spread pretty quickly. There's a lot of dry vegetation as we've been in a drought for some time. You'll notice the winds are starting to pick up as pressure gradient moves into the area. And thankfully, tomorrow, much of central Oklahoma will not have to worry about that fire weather, as we will see some moisture return back into the area. However, western Oklahoma, you are still in danger. So keep an eye out tomorrow for any wildfires that could spark. Taking a look at our 6 to 10 day temperature outlook, we are just above average for the next 6 to 10 day period, but we are between below and above average for our precipitation outlook. So that means we could potentially see some rain during the October 9th through 13th window. And this is looking at our first chance of rain. Now up in the Panhandle, they haven't seen rain in about 35 days. We have a 20% chance moving in with this cold front. So let's map out that cold front. It'll impact the Panhandle tomorrow, and it will move through the rest of the state Wednesday. However, it won't impact the rest of the state too much. What we want to talk about is the second cold front that's going to come through Thursday night. So that'll come through by the time we've already experienced our high temperatures, but it will impact things as we get into later in the week. Lows for tonight will be in the 50s for much of the state, and highs tomorrow will be in the 80s. It'll be a nice day, but we will be above normal for this time of year. Stepping out the door tomorrow morning at 8 a.m., it'll be about 58 degrees. We'll make our way up to 78 by lunchtime, and by 5 o'clock, we'll be about 82 degrees. Start our downward trend into the lower temperatures. Taking a look at rain chances for Monday. Now, this is really far out, but they are on the map. I want to make you guys aware we could have rain chances, and you'll notice that looking at Monday on the 7-day. Rain chances are ahead potentially, but stay with OU Nightly as that could change as the models continue to come in. Back to you guys at the desk.
Sooner Mall is going to look a little different tonight as the Norman Police Department hosts their annual night out. The night will begin with the rededication of the safety school and end with a night full of fun and good food. The Norman Police Department is excited for the one-on-one chance with Norman residents.
We look very forward to this. This gives us an opportunity after hours to get out there with the people here in Norman and get to meet citizens and get to speak with them about, issues that they feel are important to them.
Kickoff is at 5:30, and you won't want to miss out because Channel 9 and 4 are bringing their choppers.
Yeah, but in some sadder news, the Sooners had an upsetting defeat at TCU. OU Nightly's Dylan Rivera has more. Dylan?
It definitely wasn't a pretty scene at M&G, Carter, but we'll break down the highlights from the game. And the Red River Showdown is upon us. Will the Red River run red this year? Stay tuned for a preview in sports. Well, it was a long weekend for Sooner fans. Hello and welcome back into OU Nightly. I'm Dylan Rivera. Injuries, busted coverages, and a heck of a performance from Max Duggan resulted in a 55-24 final score in Fort Worth. After dropping back-to-back games, the Sooners are reeling. OU Nightly's Madeline Hunter was in Fort Worth at the game and has a recap of Saturday's blowout.
The trip to Funky Town is one that the Sooners will soon want to forget. Oklahoma had a rough start against the TCU Horned Frogs Saturday, with it being the fourth consecutive game the Sooners have trailed in the first half. Halfway through the second quarter, backup QB Davis Bevel entered the game after Dylan Gabriel exited due to an injury. Head coach Brent Venables says he's proud of Bevel for stepping up to the plate.
You know, I thought Davis Bevel came in and did some nice things. I was proud of Davis. And I thought guys continued to compete, in that second half.
A scary moment in the last few minutes of the game happened when Damon Harmon was carried out on a stretcher due to a head injury. Early reports say his neck is stable and he will be undergoing an MRI. Offensive coordinator Jeff Lebby says it's a scary moment to see an injury so severe.
Yeah, I hated it. I hate seeing any of our guys obviously laying on the field like that. Obviously knowing that they're hurt and in a bad state, but just obviously I think everybody's aware of how I feel about that kid.
Madeline, there's a car on the corner of Lindsay and Elm waiting to get smashed in. Students' wallets are a little slimmer than usual, and there's free burgers on campus this week. That means only one thing. It's OU Texas Week. The Red River Showdown is set to kick off this Saturday at 11 a.m. in Dallas. Both sides enter the game unranked for the first time since 1998. Carly Murray is live with a breakdown of the Texas defense. Carly.
The Sooners and the Longhorns face off for the 94th straight year at the Cotton Bowl, and the Texas Longhorns are playing some hot defense right now. On Saturday against the Mountaineers, they sacked JT Daniels 3 times and forced four blocked punts in the first half. Oklahoma offensive coordinator Jeff Lebby knows his defense is stacked.
Played really well as a unit, really stout inside. Their 2 interior guys are stout and big and do a good job of playing physical at the point. And got a couple of backers that are very, very productive, have done a really good job. And then they've got, guys on the back end that have played a bunch of football. And they're a veteran group. They got a bunch of old guys on that unit, and right now they're playing really well.
Texas is the only Big 12 program with a winning record against the Sooners. Oklahoma trails 62-50-5. The Sooners will be looking for win number 51 this weekend at the Cotton Bowl. Reporting live outside Gaylord Family Oklahoma Memorial Stadium, I'm Carly Murray, OU Nightly.
Thanks, Carly. And getting away from football, but staying in the DFW area, OU Golf teed off the Ben Hogan Collegiate Invitational today. The previous 6 national champions are all competing. Freshman Jay Summey leads the way at 3 under on the day. Get used to hearing that name. As I said, just a freshman, Jay Summey has a bright future ahead. Pepe and Romelo, back to you.
Thanks, Dylan.
A former U.S. president has a big day coming up.
Find out how he plans to celebrate.
From the OU Nightly Update Desk, I'm Corey Taylor. We have new information tonight about an Edmond police officer's condition after being injured in the line of duty. Edmond police say Sergeant Joseph Wells is on maximum life support at OU Medical Center. Police say he was assisting in the pursuit of a suspected drunk driver on September 23rd. Wells was injured when the driver made a U-turn and hit Wells' motorcycle. He's a 16-year veteran of the department. Romelo Pepper, back to you in the studio.
Former U.S. President Jimmy Carter is turning 98 years old on Saturday.
Carter is the oldest living U.S. president, passing George H.W. Bush at 94.
The Carter Center will host a series of virtual events to celebrate his legacy.
Carter beat brain cancer in 2015, but faced a series of health scares in 2019, but he's still going strong.
Carter is celebrating his birthday at home with family.
And now we're going to take one last look at weather. Jenna?
Thanks, Romelo. Tonight, it'll be a great night in Norman. Might be a little bit chilly. You might need your jacket if you're out there later, but I wanted to take one more look at our temperatures for the week. Once that cold front comes through, Thursday will drop down to below average for this time of year, and it'll be a great end to the week. Back to you, Pepper and Romelo.
Thanks for watching OU Nightly. I'm Pepper Purpura.
And I'm Romelo Woodfork. Be sure to watch OU Nightly live weekdays at 4:30. Good night.